Welcome to the Shirts and Skins podcast, Super Bowl edition. Fellas, we're here. We're already here. I feel like we just started the week like 3 weeks ago.
It does feel like it's been leading up to this. Like, it came quick, but then it felt like it took forever to get here. And now, once the game's here, it's going to be gone. And then it's going to be like, holy crap, the season's over.
I would say it's surreal, but like, we all knew the Rams were going to be here. But then here comes the Bengals.
I tried to say that they wouldn't. I did my best. I was Buccaneers, and I was Green Bay, and then I was like, then of course it'd be the Rams.
There's nobody said the Bengals unless you were a Bengals fan.
No, the Bengals fans didn't even say they were going to be there. They were like, oh, wow, the Browns are going to be there. Wow, we got the Browns. They're going to be great.
It's an Ohio team. Cheer for them.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it was great, but, it was a good run, but they got to play the Chiefs. They're down 21-3. It was a good run. It was a good run. You can build off of this.
We have them right where we want them.
That's what Burrow said.
Yeah, Burrow was like, hey, watch this. It's the same thing I just did to him 3 weeks ago. Y'all said I couldn't do it again?
Good God,
watch this.
Tell you what, even with the extra game, now don't get me wrong, there was a moment there that I was kind of caught where I was like, man, this is like, it's the highs and the lows of the season. You get very used to it. You're like, all right, these 4 games, these four, depending on where your particular team's bye week hits, you kind of section yourself off. You're like, all right, well, it's week 8, 9, or 10. Now we have a bye week, so we're going into playoff mode. We're going to be able to start our run here. These games mean more. But I don't know what it was about that extra game where it was really hard to quantify like each team's highs and lows. Did that happen with you guys, or was it just me? Because it'd be a 2-game win streak, and then a team would lose 2 games, and I'm like, now they're in a slump. And then it's like, well, there's 10 weeks left.
So this whole year,
and they have a bye week coming. This
whole year was a high and low for me because like I didn't know what was going to go on because like you go into the week and you're just like, this team's going to wax them. And then they didn't.
Oh yeah, the Bills are gonna destroy the Jaguars.
The craziest year for that.
6-9, and they lost.
Bro, I just thought so. Like how it all started, Cowboys Bucks, and you're like, this is kind of a toss-up game. You had your Bucks fans, you had your Cowboys fans, but then you had the NFL fans who are like, no, Cowboys actually, they have a squad. Doc's coming back. It depends how Dak plays. If Dak plays good, Dallas could do something, and then you still got Brady over here, and you still got their whole squad together. And then
he wants an 8th.
It opened up in that game, close game. Couple could have been this, could have been that, and it was an awesome game. And you're like, oh, here we go. We're in to see something. And then you
Jameis Winston and the Saints versus the Packers.
That's what I'm saying. So then you go over here, and you're just like, man, A-Rod, he's done. Like, his heart's not in the game.
He's leaving. He's tanking. He's going to pull the James Harden. He's going to try and get moved out. He's done with Green Bay.
And then, he won 14 games.
He hit with the RELAX again.
Yeah. This whole year, though, the highs and lows have just been... It's surreal. It's crazy. And we hit on the extra game. I really thought the extra game was like one of them ploys where it was just like, it could still be COVID. It's going to be like a makeup week. It's really not an extra game.
It's a little
it was just there to have that security blanket. But for the most part, everything panned out pretty good. Yeah, you had some COVID outbreaks. You had some people not be able to play. But I would say almost every team had to deal with that. Almost every team had to deal with injuries. Almost every team had to deal with X, Y, and Z. It was good. It was good, man. And then, leave it to Oakland to leave all the drama out there. They had the coaches, the players, the field, just everything. And then...
Hey, they were in the playoffs.
Just like we started, though, with Oakland's problems. Vegas problems. You go to Vegas and... more problems, man.
We had a Pro Bowl in Vegas, and people acting fools again.
Acting reckless out there. That's why it needs to be back in Hawaii. But the whole year, man, it was up and down all year, man. No matter what fan base you were, and whether or not you had a 14, 13, 12 winning game season, there was a week that you went in and you lost to that team that no one...
Detroit. Jacksonville.
What was the dude's name for the Jets? Mike White or whatever his name that had like this phenomenal one game and then disappeared again.
Bro, he was the next best thing.
Like they was hyping him up quick.
Bro, remember we talked about the bet on him. The dude was like he was gonna have the most passing. Bro, first off, who are you? You know what I mean? Like that's a relative, dude. Because like that dude just fell off, man.
Gone.
But first you showed up.
real.
And I want to say that was the Bengals that he did that to.
Yeah, the Bengals. Yeah.
Now in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Like he had the one game of his life and then just disappeared right afterwards.
And that's what he can go home on and be like, I beat that.
I beat those guys. They're in the Super Bowl now.
And that's what's crazy is like
Wild.
we went in even to the Super Bowl, the AFC Championship game. Like, man, look, the Chiefs are getting them pressure now on the Bengals, and they had like one sack.
Yeah,
It's like this year has been so unpredictable.
And Burrow's up to like 61 sacks on the season right now.
And then Josh goes and does something stupid and shares the Simpson where they showed the Bengals play. They showed the Bengals play the Rams, and I'm just like, I really thought the Rams were going to win, but now the Simpsons showed they're not going to win. So now it's like
you question it.
it's like
the Rams have the perfect D line to beat the Bengals.
if it wasn't for commercials, I don't know if I'd watch this game now because you know it's going to be 31-28 Bengals.
Yeah, it's just a wrap.
Simpsons called that.
I've already seen it on The Simpsons. It was already there.
So,
But
it's
it's been a surreal season. I hope it ends in a fantastic fashion. I hope it's not another Rams Super Bowl like we had, the high-powered offense versus
Greatest show on
Patriots.
turf. 6-13.
Don't give me a blowout game. Continue with the way the playoffs went. You know, like past the super wild card, however you want to say it.
I don't know if it's going to sound cliche or not, but I do believe the kickers are going to have a huge standpoint and vital point in this game where they're going to be used. I don't know. I don't want to say there's not going to be a lot of touchdowns. I think there's even like a poll out there. How many touchdowns do you think there's going to be in the Super Bowl?
Oh, there's definitely.
And I think majority right now is saying 4 to 5. Mm-hmm. But I believe there's going to be 4 to 5 field goals.
What I want, and this is just me being a jerk, I want the kid McPherson, the kicker for the Bengals, to go out there with his cocky arrogance and miss the last field goal instead of
Dude, he hasn't missed a kick all season, and that's what you want?
That's what I want.
Right.
Come on,
It's gonna go out
man.
there and say, "Hey guys, I got this," and then go out there and just completely
shank it,
double doink
indoors.
Terrible.
Yeah, indoors. Indoors, just shank it.
Yeah, just
I don't see it. It'd have to be.
Wind's going left.
Yeah, it'd have to be. It'd have to be a long kick. It would have to be a long kick.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. He's hit 2 game winners though this
I don't
postseason.
want
This
a long kick.
postseason so far, he's hit 2 game winners.
I
that
want like a
guy's been
35-yarder
ice
that he misses.
Then we'll talk about Joe Burr. Like
Exactly, that kid's
guy's
really got the
ice
ice
cold.
in the veins.
Rookie hasn't missed anything yet.
So the thing with I was looking, obviously doing like some lineups for like the head-to-head and stuff, and even Josh got me in this little lineup where we started from just the playoff seasons where you can't draft the same player and you can only use the players in the playoffs. So like basically whoever has the most Bengals and Rams players left over really has a high chance of winning.
Right.
You're sitting there and I'm looking at certain stats, and Burrow hasn't really been a fantasy threat. Like he's been averaging like 19, 20 points.
He's had yards, not the scores. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
He's hitting 250, 300 yards, but he's not getting a lot of touchdowns with it.
So Burrow on the seasons, he has about roughly 8 to 10. Pardon my math here because I don't have the stats in front of me. About 8 to 10 less touchdowns than Matt Stafford, who Matt Stafford tied his career high. So that says a lot about the team around him and what he can do with a team like that around him. It also says a lot what he was able to do when he was able to be at his peak there in Detroit with what little he had around him. But then again, you point out to what's better, what's worse. He also led the league in interceptions.
Right.
Stafford did.
He was good for 2 a game, for sure.
Yeah. And so, you look at Burrow's 8 or so less touchdowns, and then you look at, he still had like 4 less interceptions at the same time. Is it better? Is it worse? Is he take care of the ball better?
I know the Bengals have the higher percentage of big plays.
Oh, him and Chase are
but
nuts.
So that's the thing, though, right now is even before you got here, even on ESPN, the biggest thing is what's Ramsey going to do?
Right. Is Ramsey going to shadow, or is he going to do what they normally do? And
they got away. They got away from having Ramsey shadow, and they actually make him play the scheme, the defense, the zone, whatever they're about to focus on.
Half the side of the field.
Yeah.
Who's the defensive coordinator? Does anybody know the name? Because he came in and he started doing that for this team. Since they switched the defense up.
The old Falcons coach.
There you go.
Raheem Morris.
Yes, Raheem Morris.
Yeah.
Thank you. So he was the one who decided to put Ramsey more into the slot. So he was going to guard more of those slot guys. But now what he's able to do, especially in the playoffs here and against these top-tier matchups, is you can disguise a lot of your sets better.
Right.
Because now, okay, all right, so, say in this one, Ramsey's lined up in the slot and Chase is over here wide. Okay, that means that Ramsey's over here and I got an advantage over here in Chase. You snap the ball and then they switch.
Right.
And so now it throws off your route, it throws off your timing, it throws off like what your defense look is at. And so there's going to be a whole lot of gamesmanship.
Changes your confidence level for sure.
And that's all to say without Von Miller and Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd rushing at you at the same time.
Right, and that's the thing.
That's a split second right there that you're going to lose.
That's the thing that it helps the defense tenfold is when you can get pressure with 3-4 players.
Right.
And if they start getting hot and start cooking, it's going to be a long night. But let's not count out. I mean, Burrow is mobile, and like I said, he's not the Mahomes where we talked about, where he's spinning around, going or going sideways to sideways. He's going straight. So if he still does that, he'll be good. He'll be good.
Yeah.
They have to utilize that. Don't hurt yourself either. That defense, it swarms, but that defense has been giving up yards as well. It's not like It's not like we even did it last week where I think they were like 17th. They're ranked 17th. There's not like
as far as there's certain metrics.
Total.
There's certain total metrics where the Rams are first, second, third, fourth, fifth. As far as points against, they were 15th.
Yeah.
So that's middle of the pack.
They're giving stuff. They're giving yardage up. They're giving plays up. Whether it's a big play, we even seen Ramsey, he gave that bomb to Evans.
Yeah,
you know
he was
what I mean?
getting burnt by Evans.
So if he's getting burnt by Evans, I would say Jamar Chase can outrun Evans. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I would say that. You know what I mean?
Now less injuries.
I think he was. I think being
he got caught up.
Right.
He got caught up.
I think he wasn't believing. But Evans. But Chase, I think he's gonna know this guy.
Yeah.
What is he going to bite on? But that's the thing. Chase is a great route runner as well. Yeah. So it just depends how they want to do it. I think they should just run the scheme. Don't shadow him. I know Ramsey's already called out for it. Let me do it.
Yeah, he wants to follow him.
The thing is,
and the Bengals are saying, well, they're going to have to match up with us.
Yeah, the Bengals.
So, it's back and forth. But see, the Bengals, they're getting ready. Both teams are getting ready.
Yeah, the Bengals have that third wide out.
They do.
So they have Boyd. So they got Higgins. They got Higgins, and they have Chase. But then you got Boyd. Boyd's going to be, to me, is going to be that matchmaker, the
X factor,
the one where you have to figure out, is that third DB, that safety, or whomever, can they guard Boyd? And Boyd is slept on, and he hasn't been doing great this season or in the postseason, but he was still almost over 1,000 yards. He's
still a very big, deep threat. Yeah, that guy's got burners.
He's great. He's a great wide out. We'll see how they utilize him. And then you have the Rams. You got Jefferson, who's still kind of questionable, who's still hurt. So now you just got Odell and Kupp. So not that it's the easy thing to stop, but
and let me throw you this one because everything that I look at as far as like totality, right? If I look at defensive line, I'm picking Rams. If I pick up offensive line, I'm picking Rams.
Yeah.
If I'm picking who's the weakest part of the offensive line, I mean, yeah, the Bengals have the weaker offensive line. If going back and forth on this, a lot of this stuff says Rams. You can look at the quarterback and say veteran versus second year guy, and you can make your pick based on who's the person
in a close
what do you
game.
See exactly
in a close game though. You don't want neither one of these quarterbacks to have the ball. They could both win you the game.
They can. Let me say this, though. If I'm looking at the total options that each quarterback has, and this is to your point, Devin, and this might lead into a good conversation about where you were headed. If I look at all the wide receivers, if I look at all the tight ends, and I look at all the running backs, I probably am leaning Bengals. Because if I look at the running backs, I want to say Akers. He's coming off an Achilles injury.
And a shoulder.
And shoulder. Sony Michelle was third on the depth chart, but the guy ahead of him, he had a near-season injury.
Yep.
Henderson. So now Sony Michelle's moving up, and he hasn't been great here in the postseason. Now, what was it? 2016 Patriots, I want to say he had 94 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
Go Dogs. I love my Sony Michelle. Don't get me wrong. He's a Georgia guy. I love him for that. I love what he did for us. But again, if he's your third guy moving into second because of an injury, and the guy ahead of him has an Achilles injury.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to turn it on here in the postseason. Now, what you're really doing is putting it all on Stafford. I don't feel comfortable.
We got to look at it, though,
and
with
then
the
I look
running
at the
game.
Bengals and what they got, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, and Burrow being all balls Burrow. I do like that better than what the Rams have offensively if it's going to be basically all Stafford.
The Rams played the Bucs and the 49ers. Those are like the two toughest rush defenses in the game right now.
Right.
So I don't want to lean too much on that because right now, like even just looking at matchups, and like I said,
and Stafford, I mean, if they go to overtime, I would dare say the Rams lose. Like, you blew a giant lead to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and then what'd Stafford do? He threw 2 bombs, and then he walked off the field with a win.
Yeah.
Like, that was nuts. That was Stafford. I got a team now. I'm showing and proving. Cup again.
Well,
buckets, field goal. Let's go home. Let's go on to the
Matt Stafford he's still got some comeback wins even with the Lions.
Then he almost threw a pick and lost to the 49ers. So which Stafford are we getting this week?
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got 2 weeks of preparation. Which team you're going to get? You got these 2 young bucks, offensive minded. But I do want to say that I do believe the Rams rushing offense is going to have a bigger part of the game than it has the past 2 weeks, especially with the Bucs and the 49ers, because of those rush defenses. And the Bengals, they're not that hard that great on rush defense, and their secondary has been doing better. And I would say they have youth out there, but Kupp's different animal right now. His route running is just
incredible.
Him and Stafford are on a different level, and I want to say Burrow and Chase are on a different level, but Kupp is running routes to get open as to where these turnaround fades to Chase. I want to say it's practice, obviously, and there's a read there to it, but it's a toss up. Like, you know, it don't look
50-50
pretty.
ball.
Yeah, it's great.
Back shoulder.
It's great because it's been
Looks
working.
sexy.
Yeah, it's been working, but it's not the where he's running the route. He's turning back around. The DB almost gets it, and then he breaks it away by spinning out. Whereas Kupp is in stride. Mm-hmm. It's
typically
different.
a step or two ahead.
It's typically.
Yeah.
And there's a couple where he's dropped it, and you're just like, ooh, because he was just ready to go.
Yeah.
But
well, and when you look at the Rams scheme, what they've done a lot throughout this postseason is they take off a lot of the corners. They take off a lot of the baseline stuff, and they leave a lot of the middle of the field open.
Right.
So again, like, is Chase going to be able to run those routes that are going to get him inside and open, or are they going to do like a double marble where they pull all these guys to the corners and like you can have whoever wants to go to the middle, that'll be fine.
I think that's where Higgins is
we're going to take away these 50-50 balls because you're going to have 1, 2, 3 guys on.
You're going to find out. You're going to find out immediately the first 2 drives what the Bengals are going to do unless they tighten it up in the second half like they've done. But you're going to find out what kind of game it's going to be is if Higgins is eating up the ball on third down. Mm-hmm. On third down, if you're getting the ball to Higgins, and one thing we mentioned tight ends, both these guys tight ends are hurt. Higbee and Uzomah, they're both hurt, so you might be starting.
Uzomah said he's not missing. Not missing the game
that
of
don't
my
mean,
life.
That don't mean you're playing. You know what I mean?
I understand, but you know.
I seen a man on crutches, and we've seen T.O. break his leg and go out there and have the best game. But this isn't T.O. This is a tight end who's 260-plus pounds.
Yeah, different.
Kind of slow. If he can't block. If he can't, you're not going to put him out there. You're not going to put him out there, or you will put him out there for a couple plays, see what he can do. But is he going to play the game? You're probably going to play Simple, I think his name is.
But the thing about this, too, is that Bengals defense, again, so we're looking at, last week we were looking at points scored against, and so the Rams were 15th, they're 17th.
Right.
And I do think the secondary of the Bengals are playing above their level.
I think the Bengals defense is playing. Fair? Both defenses are playing better than what the numbers say they are, especially the Bengals defense.
The Bengals safeties. So Bates, he's a killer out there.
Yeah.
Bates is good.
Yeah.
And I think the other one's Bell. And both the safeties right now for the Bengals are playing good. Their D-line is stepping up. Their linebacker play.
You know what really kills me? Because I was trying to find the article. There was a lot of points there to be made. And I really want to get the man's name because he deserves it. But he only had 2 sacks in the Chiefs game on Mahomes. And he was the one who had the back-to-back sacks that knocked them out of scoring range there at the very end, where they had to kick the field goal.
Their main guy is it Henderson?
I want to say it was.
That's the kid that came from. He was with the Saints last year. He signed this year. He had a monster year for them. He had 15, 16 sacks on the season.
I want to say it was him. That sounds about right. But I mean, if you can. It's not about how, Joe Burrow was a living, walking example of this. You can get sacked 9 times, but it's like, did you sack me when it counted?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But
who won?
At the same right. Yeah. But at the same time, that's the underrated part of this is, again, like those safeties for the Bengals, they're playing above their skill level, I feel like, or at least their projected skill level. Their CBs aren't doing too bad either, especially here in this postseason. But then that line pressure, which doesn't always get there, but they seem to get there when it matters the most.
Yeah.
And again, if you have Mahomes on your 9-yard line with a minute to go, that's when you need to get him the most. And he got him back-to-back times. And now all of a sudden they're kicking from the 30.
Yep. That I agree.
That Bengals defense has been serious.
No, and that they've definitely grown, and people said they questioned their playoff experience. Well,
lack thereof.
You're playing at house money. Like, you don't even care at this point. We're not supposed to be here.
Now,
and this is what you're doing.
And now it all comes down to one game. That's what separates the Super Bowl from all these other leagues. There's no series.
Right.
Nope.
It's one game. It's one and done. That's what makes to me. That's why I love March Madness. Yeah. That's why I love the Super Bowl. And not only do I just love the game of football, but that's why I love that, because like
it's all season long. March Madness.
Yeah, you
can't lose 6 times.
There's no coming back at 3-1, 2-1.
Yeah.
Home field advantage this. Which you brought up home field. Advantage.
It's in Los Angeles, but technically the Bengals have the home field advantage because the Buccaneers on the other conference, they switch it out year to year so that way no one has home field advantage.
But I don't know if that's going to be a lie.
No, that's going to be a lie because Los Angeles is going to spend Los Angeles money and get those tickets.
I don't know if there's going to be a lot of fans for either side. I think
it's just going to be like a famous.
Yes, it's going to to be
who's who?
Because they were showing. Chad Johnson actually shared it, and he's talking about who can afford this.
Oh yeah, nobody.
Like some of the cheapest tickets for like the nosebleeds were $6,000.
$6,000, dude. It was like $100 to park.
Yeah, it's insane.
I seen one. I follow him. One of my favorite comedians to follow is Gary Owen.
Yeah,
and he's a huge Cincinnati Bengals guy. He had like custom shoes made that he's like, dude, I was never gonna wear them. I didn't think I was ever gonna wear them. I said I was gonna wear them when they were gonna go to the Super Bowl. And he's like,
that was quick.
He's like, so the first thing I could think of when we got to the Super Bowl is I called Kevin Hart, and he's like, hey man, I know you ran up on the field. Like, how do I do that? Like, am I up to that caliber of celebrity? Like, how do I get to go get the trophy? And if y'all remember, Kevin Hart went out there. Then like security had to go get. Like, he thought he was a part of the team.
Yeah, he was trying to grab the trophy and hold it up.
Oh no.
But
you ain't there.
I do think it's going to be celebrity driven, especially being in LA.
There'll be a lot of Silicon Valley in there.
I do believe though the Bengals are going to show out. We'll see. I'm actually a little interested in how that stadium's going to look.
LA doesn't really have a fan base already.
Right. They did their little live thing in a high school.
Like,
whereas
LA
the
doesn't
Bengals,
have a fan base.
Dude, the Bengals filled up their stadium.
Right.
To send the Bengals off.
Right.
LA went to a high school. Like they're like, well, dude, we're not going to open up the whole stadium. We're not even going to fill it out. They filled out the high school, but what? The high school was like 1,200 people. You know what I mean?
That's the biggest thing.
And to see like a little bit of a larger part of the conversation here, we look at the Rams and we're like, all right, well, like Ramsey wasn't there, Von Miller wasn't there, Odell Beckham wasn't there, Matt Stafford wasn't there. They traded and they paid for all these players.
Yeah.
They paid for this one, but at the same time, like a large part of that. I mean, not only like. Are you trying to win the Super Bowl? And so if you can get a Pro Bowl quarterback, if you can get Vaughn, if you can get Ramsey, which again, Stafford was in Detroit for his whole career. Like, you can't tell me he doesn't deserve this opportunity too. Ramsey was languishing in Jacksonville. And everyone was like, dude, that's the best CB in football. And they're winning like 5 games a year. Like, get that man somewhere where, he has a chance.
Give him some recognition.
Right? Let him play for something.
The thing is, when Ramsey was in Jacksonville, they had a great defense. And then Ramsey was like, yeah, man, this is great. And then they traded his whole defense.
Everyone.
And they were just like, look, we're going to pay you. And then, but oh man, we're not good at this. We traded your whole defense. So his whole scheme, every person he played with, everything he had set up, the whole Duval.
Fournette was there. They got rid of him too.
Yeah. Oh, Fournette. All right,
great. Now we can't.
Bro, they were winning with Blake Bortles.
Right.
Tell me who Blake Bortles plays for now. You know what I mean? Like
they went to
they
the
were a
playoffs.
touchdown away from beating the Patriots.
Yeah. Bro, they beat the Steelers in the playoffs.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's saying something.
You can't say that like some of these guys don't deserve to be there, but at the same time, okay, if you're looking at the LA market, Josh, I'm glad that's why you brought that up, because how can you, if you just move to LA who has no fan base for this team, how can you get them excited immediately?
Especially when you have the Chargers over there.
Take them to the Super Bowl.
When the Chargers were in
big names.
When the Chargers were in San Diego, they had problems.
Yeah.
Right.
So you think going to LA is going to create more fans for you? Like,
I think if you get 6, 7, 8 names that everyone knows, it helps.
It helps. It just doesn't matter.
It's better than
but there's too much in LA to do.
There's too many. There's too many. It's too travel driven. It's too. It's
nobody was born and raised in LA.
Which
it's everyone travels there. It's
you get some money and you move there.
It's a migrant state. Everybody moves from the other states to go there.
Right.
You want
or
to
I have my
famous.
other businesses there and I need to get closer to those.
Right.
And that's why I live there now. But so like that's why they can't do the Cincinnati thing, which I also wouldn't say was the right way to build a team, which is like you just
do
lose,
the draft.
And you're and that's the thing. And so all right, we have a top 10 pick, we're going to take our one guy. And then we're going to wait to the second round, take a guy. And then next year we're going to be bad, we're going to take a top 10 guy.
Right.
And it's like you have tons of draft picks, like you just don't move more to get more top 10 talent that you
it's not
you can't do that in LA because the market is so different.
They won't
have
win
to
now.
Get names.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the Bengals were like a horrible team. Like they had playoff. Yeah, they had playoff drives. They just couldn't get over that playoff hump.
3 straight playoff appearances.
Dalton would take them there.
But they were there. They were there.
Right. Dalton would take them there. They just couldn't.
They just couldn't get over that. There was where they would have a decent defense, but then Dalton would mess it up.
I guess I wouldn't say like I wouldn't. I don't know if any one of us and those listening as well, like if either one of these teams is the way that you should build a Super Bowl team, like either you spend all of your next 7 years assets to get these guys for a 2-year run, or also if you just sit back for 40
Rams
years
is the ultimate win now situation.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying model it after each one, but I'm saying like the region that they're in is why they're able to do it the way that they are and actually end up here.
Yeah, end result is it could be done either way. But now it's the Bengals in 2 years. Well, first off, could they get back there next year? But in 2 years, if you have a very young, good team like they do now, can you keep it that way? Because now everyone's going to want to get paid.
It's always what they say. It's the rookie contract.
Right. So
when you got to have the quarterback on that rookie contract.
Russell Wilson.
And that's how you can afford to keep all the guys.
Exactly.
Because once they hit that 6th year, that's when you have a problem.
Yep.
Then that guy has to get paid on that 6th year.
Ask my brother about Joe Flacco when he won the Super Bowl, and he will tell you that man should not have gotten any of that money that he got.
They're about to do the same thing for Lamar. They're saying they're about to break the bank for Lamar.
Hey, at least he won an MVP.
I understand that, but now you're going to pay your quarterback that much money, and what's it going to do the rest of the team? Ask the Colts how it worked out with Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And ask the Colts how it worked out with Andrew Luck, and then talk to a Cincinnati fan and see how they feel about Burrow.
See how they feel about O-lines.
Bro. 61 sacks right now on the year. Granted, I love that guy, and I love how tough he is, but if I'm Cincinnati,
you want to protect him.
When you're 23, it's all right. When you're 28...
Your neck looks different.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's get into predictions here. I feel like Parsons and myself.
Let's do it.
Beginning of the year, we were both already on the Rams.
When we're right, Josh.
So I'm not going to go against that. I have the Rams winning.
Do you have them covering? I think it's 4.5, 4.
It's currently 4.
I got them covering.
I have them covering too. I have the Rams. I have them covering. I think the Rams are going to win.
None of you guys went Bengals. I really thought you would.
So there's like a 3%. Down somewhere that I could think the Bengals could win this. Will I be surprised if the Bengals win? No, they're resilient.
I won't be surprised at all.
They're resilient. They're definitely worthy. Definitely worthy. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
I would say this is a Super Bowl where I don't care who wins. I'm happy.
A fan base that hasn't won in years, and a fan base that it's hard not to. For me,
it's okay.
Hate,
Matt Stafford wins a ring, or the Bengals win a ring. Like either way, I'm like, dude, that. Cool.
But the only guy I'm looking at is like Odell. You know, if I'm an average fan, I'm just kind of like, he just kind of takes it away from me. But Donald,
I love Donald.
Not deserve it? Does Ramsey not deserve it? Does Matt not deserve the chance to play for this? Like,
anyone who follows football, Matt Stafford is that guy where you're like, dude, you want him to win a ring.
Bro, he's a blue collar.
McVay to win.
Yeah, I like McVay. I was just about to say,
back there a second time. Bro, I don't know if I see him losing.
I like McVay. I think McVay just as that young generational
dude. He's 36.
Bro, been there twice. He's the youngest coach again.
Right,
youngest coach again.
See, that just I hate because he's younger than me, so it's just annoying.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I really love about that is it's like, especially when he took over the Rams and everyone's like, oh, this offensive genius, and everyone was looking for the next McVay. And so instead they're like, well, I guess we can't find him. We're just going to keep poaching his assistants.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe one of these older guys that are older than you are like,
it's so funny you say that.
And they'll take your things. And he's like, no, I'm still me. I'm in the Super Bowl.
That's why I thought people were going after like McCown.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, they're just looking for McVay out here, I guess. I mean, but that's
not alike.
Yeah, but that's not how this works. You know what I mean? This man's been on staff like for years. All McCown's been doing was quarterbacks.
His former, back in the day assistants is actually the head coach of the Bengals now.
Right.
Which is super dope.
All of them. And LaFleur and Shannon.
Yep.
That was part of I want to say that was a part of
he's like, here's my
the Washington football team, Washington Redskins, the Commanders, the Washington team.
Football team.
When I think it was when Griffin was over there. When Griffin came in,
the Jay Gruden era,
I believe that was a part of their.
I know they were all
Shanahan.
Yeah, I think that was a part of their era, and then all of them became coaches.
Yeah,
right.
So I mean, that don't just happen. There's talent there, and now look at them; they're all being successful.
Yeah.
So obviously there was something in that water. There was something, to take from it, and young generation. It's good to see.
I don't know. Okay,
that's an answer.
Let me say this.
Heads or tails? Heads or tails, bud?
I don't know if I can see McVay going to another Super Bowl and putting up 3 or 6 points again.
That's not going to happen.
No. I don't think that can happen. But again, if I'm looking at that running back core and it's all on Stafford, that really gives me some worry. And then I look at what the Bengals can do offensively, but then I look at what the defense has over there, the Rams, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, can I name enough names that are over there? Like, those guys, they're pros, and Burrow's in his second year. But then again, like, knowing what I've seen from Burrow, like, I remember LSU pretty clearly. Like, that was the team of destiny, and he was the quarterback that, like, we all thought he would be. And then he is that human being. And he was talking to reporters the other day, and he's like, no, I have full confidence in my offensive line. I have full confidence in our game plan, and we're going to go out there and we're going to do it. And I'm like, God, I just want to pull for you so hard. Like, this is freaking great, man. Like, I want to run through a wall for you if it gives you another 3% chance. So I almost don't know if I can go against Burrow at this point, like that type of confidence that he has and what he's shown. Like, you don't go from being down 21-3 to Mahomes and beat him when he gets the coin toss in overtime.
Yeah.
Like, I can't undersell that enough. That is absurd.
The difference I can say is you don't play Mahomes. And
he plays you.
He's playing Donald and he's playing Ramsey.
And he's playing Leonard Floyd and he's playing Von Miller.
Yeah. And Von Miller in the playoffs, man. He's turned it up.
No, I'm just gonna go with if I'm looking at the football teams and I'm looking at what wins championships and I'm looking at like what advantages the teams have had. I mean, like, again, like, just go back one Super Bowl ago. It's like, how important is an offensive line? I don't know. Ask Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. He's the only guy that's ever been sacked 50 plus times and led his team to a Super Bowl, and he's been sacked 11 more times since then. And again, and we're not talking about the greatest of defensive players that he's played against already, but he's about to play them. He's about to play all of them. And again, we ran down, all right, Stafford's throwing a ball to Cup. You know what I mean?
It's
like
3 Hall of Fame players on this defense.
Good Lord. I just think it's too insurmountable. But I will say this again, like we were I'm just going to sit back and enjoy whatever happens because this is America's game right here. Like, Brady's not in it. We don't have to worry about a Rodgers type of drama. We can just sit, we're not seeing Chiefs and 49ers, which we've already seen, and Garoppolo. And
bro, we're going to have our Shirts and Skins podcast commercial.
I'm going to sit back and love this. This is going to be great. And the halftime show is going to be bananas for those of our generation. Yeah. What?
All I want is a good, close game. I don't want a blowout. And like I said, I don't care who wins. I'll be happy either way.
I'll call out.
Give me a good game.
Oh, man. No, it could be 27-10. And I'll be like, man, like, did you see that defense out there? Did you see that offense they put up? What?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I think the only thing that would surprise me if the Rams put up like 10 points. I'd be surprised if like...
I wouldn't be because, again, it probably means that Stafford is throwing picks. I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it means Burrow's throwing TDs, and I've seen that.
If it's... The way I look at this game is if it's a high-scoring game, that benefits the Bengals.
Agreed.
If it's a low-scoring game, that's going to benefit the Rams.
Agreed.
Right.
Agreed.
So, it's... Depending on how the game goes, like if it's a shootout, I like the Bengals' chances way more.
28-24 with Burrow, and he has a minute left.
So, it's...
Damn it, that would be exciting. Or the other way around.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, Staff.
That's all I want.
What you got, bro?
I want it to come down to the last drive. No matter how it ends on that last drive, that's what I want. I want it to come down to the last drive.
Got to see one of them Super Bowl moments, man. Got to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get some. And I don't know. I guess I just don't feel like anyone loses in this
especially
matchup.
if you don't make a pick. If you never make a pick, you never lose.
No, Rams. I'm going Rams. I'm going Rams. If I haven't said it yet, I don't think I have. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to go Rams just for... This sounds super cliche, but football reasons. Even though I want to go Burrow, again, he's electric. He's exciting, and again, this might be like, what would the world look like?
So really, what he said is he's going with Stafford because he's a Georgia guy. That's what he said. I got it.
Always have faith in the Georgia guy. But what would it mean if Burrow wins the Super Bowl? Now he's tied with Mahomes. And coming fresh off the Super Bowl,
we're gonna crown him the same way we crowned Mahomes, and what have we done since then?
Not won another one in 4 years. Now he's gotten there,
or he's gotten close.
But Burrow's just 3 years younger than him, and so it's like, I mean, like, I got more time than you, bro.
But if they finish the same amount, I mean, it's not going to matter.
They're both looking down at Herbert like, you thought you were one of us.
Another Chargers quarterback gets talked about how the other guys have done it.
Stafford and Donald gets his, and I'd be elated.
Yeah.
Donald got his, and I'd be elated if the Cincinnati Bengals in year 2 got it. Now, that would put... I don't even know. They're a 10-7 team. Like, you can't actually put expectations on them, right? You can't be like, well, you have to be here next year. And it's like, not really.
No, you just won Super Bowl. That's your expectations now are Super Bowl.
And you had a lot of moving pieces this offseason. The offseason hasn't even started yet.
This just proves, as soon as the Super Bowl ends, it's on to the next one.
Oh, yeah.
It's on to the next one. We're making our projections. We're all moving on. Every football fan is like, man, I'm glad you got that one. But our year,
it starts fresh.
We're 0-0.
Yeah,
we're smoke your cigars, but we're smoking ours.
We're talking about combine. We're talking about drafts. We're talking about moving pieces. So we still got we're waiting for their capital, the final payout, to make sure they get their on the roster bonus, which is in end of February, early March.
Yeah.
And then you're going in the draft combine. Then you're going in the draft. Then you're going into training camp.
Is Wilson out? Is Rodgers out? Because him and his girl seemingly split, and so he can go anywhere. He doesn't need to just go to California.
Jimmy G's already said it. He knows he's gone.
Yeah,
Jimmy G knows he's gone, which I think he can help somebody out, like the Steelers.
No, he's not.
I hope they take him.
Listen, we don't want him unless he ends up there.
And now you got Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray just completely scrubs all of his social media of anything related to the Arizona Cardinals.
He did. But he did share one thing.
He kept one thing, and that's him and Mike Evans. Mike Evans saying, I don't know if it's Mike Evans or Murray that said it. One of the two was talking about it was nice to catch a pass or throw a pass to a Texas great. One of the two is like that.
They're linked.
And conveniently,
Evans,
Bucks need a quarterback.
What happened? What I seen is one of the reporters or one of the shows that I was watching or heard from. It said that Giannis did the same thing in basketball, and then they won the championship, and he was still a Buck. So when you do this, is this your way to jab at the bear? You know, the person who pays you. You know, you're still on there. You're still under contract.
Well,
You're
you
still
play little political games. Like,
Right.
let them
This
know
is him
that
going
like,
into that
you guys don't take
fourth
care of this.
year.
right.
You
I
know,
might
it's
find
that
someone who
fifth year
will.
option kind of coming up. Well, fourth year is always whenever you want to do the extension for the guys. Is this his way of saying, hey, pay me or I'm not going to be here? Or is he truly disgruntled and doesn't want to be there?
So
We don't know.
that's the biggest thing, and I'm glad.
If
we're
I'm
talking about
Arizona,
this.
I'm like, dude, I'm disgruntled with you.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Your
glad
bones.
this. Yeah, I'm glad this feels
He
mutual.
feels good. He just had a great game in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, that's
right.
something to really hang your hat on.
Now,
Yeah.
what we really haven't seen yet
Yeah, pick
in,
six.
in the NFL is the most important, quote unquote, most important position in football. And the most talented guy or top 5 guys actually force themselves out of a situation. Now, there's been a situation where Peyton Manning, again, he had his neck fusion, and the organization and the Colts were like, look, man, like, we just can't take you on. Like, you understand? And he's like, yeah, I understand. Tom Brady and them, they're like, look, we're just not going to kind of re-sign you again, or you can take this. And he's like, nah, I'm going to go win a Super Bowl over here. But we haven't seen, like, a Rodgers force him way to another team, or a Russell Wilson, or this Kyler Murray
Even more crazy because
saying, I got a year left.
absolutely in the prime. Like,
Maybe I'll go. Maybe you'll trade me somewhere. I don't know. So that's kind of crazy to me, is that we haven't seen it yet. I feel like we're getting there, but we haven't seen it yet.
You're
So is
messing
this
with a
the
different
year?
giant, man.
No.
The NFL,
That's
as
for
we see,
sure.
as we seen, the NFL is its own giant.
yes.
It's its own business. It's
Hell,
its
Deshaun
own.
Watson has gone through everything that he's gone through, and he hasn't been moved yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because the organization's like, he can play some football, though.
Yeah.
Like, that guy can throw a ball. Have you seen him? Wait
They're
till we
waiting.
can get it back on this field.
Yeah.
That guy can throw a ball.
Yeah, that's the thing right now. We're waiting for that. That's going to be the end of this month, too.
Right.
A lot of things are going on in February. A lot of moving pieces still to go on.
good
So once the
grief.
Super Bowl's over, it's the real Super Bowl for the drafters,
That's
the
when-
prospects,
yep,
the
you
movements, the
free agency.
who's going to be that new player you cheer for all of a sudden because
Yep.
you
Garoppolo
were a
on the
hater.
Steelers.
There was a lot of Bucks out there who wasn't big Tom Brady haters until,
Oh, yeah.
what? He's on my team. I'm a big TV fan. And, all of a sudden he's the biggest jersey selling in Florida. Like,
Not
come
only
on, man.
Florida.
It
It was like
Half the
7
country.
other states.
yeah. It wasn't
wild.
Pennsylvania, I'll tell you that.
All right. Any final notes before you put a pin in our Super Bowl predictions? We are all going Rams. I really wish someone would switch to the Bengals just so somebody can be right and not all 3 of us maybe be wrong.
No, we're always right.
All right, we're all going Rams.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not confident.
Any given Sunday, we said it. So even if we're wrong, we're right.
Even if we're wrong, right? If they played it again, you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
played it like
Hey,
10
2 out of
times, like
3.
7 Rams
Right.
would do
That's
it,
what
you know
makes
I mean?
football great is, you only have to win one, but the Rams would have won the other 2.
All right. Let's transition right on to the NBA trade deadline. So we are recording here on Tuesday the 8th. So Thursday, by the time you hear this, the trade deadline will probably be wrapping up, if not all the way over.
3:00.
So we want to talk about this real quick before we get over there. CJ McCollum, I'm actually pro this move. Got traded from the Portland Trail
For who?
Blazers over to the Pelicans. Doesn't matter. I'm really glad that
His
the
name was
Pelicans
Josh.
are...
And he has a lot of heart. And that's it. That's all we
Hey.
know. Yeah.
Are you pro
Josh Hart?
for the Blazers? Like, you think this is a good move for the Blazers?
So it depends on what the Blazers do, because they've made...
It's not a good move for the Blazers this year.
Agreed.
Right.
Completely right. Completely right. Now, depending on if you're a skeptic, or depending on if you're a fan, or if you're an outside looker, this is going to change your opinion. So we don't know what's up with Dame. He might come back. He might not. He might do the Bradley Beal situation where it's like, look, season ending. Are things kind of a wrap? Also, you got rid of my all-star over there, CJ McCollum. But what this does is this coming summer, if they keep the contracts what they are, and before re-signing, keeping this guy, keeping that guy, it opens up $60 million in cap room, which can give you a max player. It can give you also a half a max guy or a restructure guy. So you can give up what you have, get a shell of some all-stars some all-stars and a shell of a team around him, a la, as Devin pointed out, the LA Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers.
That's been working out so good for them this particular year. But what I like about it for number one, it gives them some flexibility, and also it just might give Dame some. He's what do I say? He's a pelican. You got to let him fly. Is that the expression? Or a peacock. He's a peacock. You got to let him fly.
Yeah.
Maybe you let him go.
I thought you were trying to do the pelican reference there.
No, that's good.
There,
that's good. Maybe they allow him to kind of dictate where he goes or whatever. But also gives him a chance to double down. Like, no, I want to be a trailblazer. All right, we'll see. But the Pelicans I like because you have Zion and you're trying to keep him.
Trying to do everything you can to keep him. Like, is this the move that'll help him? They'll be like, hey, stop faking this injury. Drop some LBs.
Come on, Charles Barkley.
I think it moves the needle.
I agree.
That's all I'm going to say. I think it moves the needle where he might look at it and be like, there's some extra spacing. There's some shooting. He's an all-star. Ingram's an all-star. I know what I am.
I like to eat.
Maybe. And I like to eat.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something going on here. That's all I like. I'm not saying it'll work or they're going to go to the finals or even to the second round. But I'm saying I like it better than them staying put and basically just daring him to sign their extension or leave.
I just hope with the Blazers, two things. One, I hope they checked with Dame and was like, hey, are you good with us getting rid of your boy?
Oh, that would be gross misfeasance and negligence to not run it by Dame.
I'm going to do the Zion on you guys if that's the case. If I'm thinking we're making some moves and I see the moves you're making and you're getting rid of these guys, rid of this guy, and then you get rid of my homeboy, then I'm going to be like, hey, guys, I'm pulling the Bradley Beal. I got to get the seeds again in charge of my wrist, guys. Sorry. Yep. Like, I don't want to play no more
this isn't it.
And the second thing...
sign up for this.
So we were losing together. Now we're definitely going to lose.
Now I'm losing alone.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Me and the guy with all the heart.
Yeah.
Now really, y'all just took any drive I had. Mm-hmm. So the second part is with that contract... What I'd be worried about is what if they go out and sign what was the kid that the Boston player that went to the Charlotte Hornets? They offered him they gave him the max contract. Hayward
Gordon. Yep.
So is that the kind of guy they're going to be getting?
Well, if they do, Dame's gone.
Because what all-star player first off is going to leave their team?
I don't think there's a whole lot of all-stars available this year. And actually, now that you bring that up, I'm really conceding.
I know you have like a Kyrie has
and Kyrie.
They have options. I think Harden is done.
So Kevin Durant screwed because he signed the extension,
right?
Thinking like, I'm just gonna, show of faith. I like it here. I like you boys. We're gonna get this thing rolling. And they're like, whoa, no, not me. Like I'm going into the summer with no extension. I'm gonna have free options.
Kawhi Leonard can opt out.
Kawhi can. Good point. See, I knew I was going somewhere with the $60 million.
You think Kawhi's gonna leave LA to go to Portland?
No.
Well, Portland can have like $100 million if they let Dame go. They'll have a lot of cap space.
Paul George for a Dame?
That's not gonna happen.
And then Kawhi can go over there.
I thought that was whenever the Clippers and the Portland made their trade. I just seen the headliner quick, and I seen LA Clippers trade.
Was in the works.
I seen LA Clippers trade, and I seen the Portland Trailblazers jersey, and I was like, "Bro, Dame's coming!" Dame's coming.
Yeah.
And then I read the thing, I was like, "Oh!" It was that half a second of just, "Oh, buddy."
Yeah.
I was like, if these two guys can get back healthy, we're gonna be something.
Well, and see, so that's a good point into next year because it's hard to talk about. So we're gonna get around to Ben Simmons here. And we're going to get around to Harden since we already spoke about Harden. So where I'm at with Philly and the Nets, if this really comes from, if you're the Nets, what do you do? If you're Philly, what do you do? If you're Harden and Kyrie individually, what do you do? Because we already just talked about how Harden and Kyrie both have, their contract expires. They have an option. They can jump in, sign an extension, or they can just be free agents and just leave Kevin Durant high and dry. Now, I'm sure Kevin Durant is like, whatever, I can drop 30 to 50 on anybody any given night. If you guys leave, we'll have salary. We can bring in somebody else.
It's the LeBron effect with KD. You're going to want to play with KD.
You're going to want to play with me.
There will be somebody that'll come over.
We're going to be a contender in the East because it's like, what, us and the Bucks?
Right.
It'll be fine. So I'm sure he has that mentality. But at the same time, Harden might be looking at this like, dude, you're hurt. I'm not in shape, which is Harden's fault and no one else's fault. And I'm dealing with this hamstring because he came in overweight and he's still out of shape. And but Kyrie only plays half of these games. And here's the deal. Like, if they get home court advantage in the playoffs, like, Kyrie's only going to play 3 games.
You don't want home. Like, if you're the Nets,
got a disadvantage.
If you're the Nets, you don't want to be a top seed. Like,
and if it happens to shake out where you play Toronto, Kyrie, you can't play in Canada.
Yep.
And you can't play here in Brooklyn. So, like, where are we at here? So, if you're the Nets, I feel like, well, I'm sorry. If I'm Philly, I'm sorry. This is why it's so hard. If I'm the Nets, I'm probably going to sit and wait this out. I'm probably not going to deal Harden. I'm probably not going to deal Kyrie, because if I'm looking, I've seen 20 games of these guys, and if they play, they destroy everybody.
Yeah.
So why mess with that if, we'll ride out this summer. We'll see what happens. If you guys leave, I got cap space. If you stick around, we're the big 3.
Even for the season. Look, just get healthy by the time the playoffs come.
Right.
You're going to make the playoffs.
You're going to make the playoffs.
You may be a bottom seed, but that doesn't matter.
Because you'll actually have all your players if you're the bottom seed.
That benefits you a little bit more.
Right.
Because then you get, that longer stretch where you're playing, with Kyrie.
Right.
So you want that to a degree. To me, it's...
If you're Philly, they can look at you. Every team can look at you and be like, all right, you have Ben Simmons who's not playing. So that's a zero asset.
Yeah.
How long do you want to hang on to that for? 3 years?
Exactly.
Like, Philly's in a disadvantage. Philly
How long
almost
you sitting on that dead money?
Yeah, you're sitting on dead money. You're just paying, or you're not even paying him. So I guess you're keeping money, but he's not getting money. But do you want Harden and Embiid together? If you can pull that off, you probably got to give up Seth Curry and a couple of picks. Do you want to do that? Because I feel like on some point, it wouldn't help Embiid this year. No, if you get Harden, it would. What I was going to say is you could go after Dame, since all this is happening, see what you could package together to get Dame. Probably not going to happen. But then you can move over to Beal before he said he's having season-ending injury, because then you can be like, I don't have to do the Harden thing again. We've already done that. I'm Daryl Morey. I did that in Houston. We can go after Bradley Beal. It wouldn't help us this season, but number one, you can just let Embiid ride out the hell of a season he's having now, and he's still going to be super excited about next season. And then next season, you have an all-star shooting guard, and you have Embiid, who has a longer career trajectory than what Harden has. But now if you deal for Harden, it's like, all right, so I just traded up Simmons, who I have on contract, who I'm not going to get. And then Harden, who has an expiring. Like, how much do I have to give up for a guy who, talent level of Harden,
if you want
who's
Harden,
out of shape, but he's not guaranteed to stay?
If you want Harden, you wait till the offseason.
I agree. It makes no sense now.
It's
too far along.
Just see if he's willing to come to Philadelphia. Don't risk having to give up the assets to get him. If you know next year you can just get him for a contract.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me to give up a score. If you're the Nets, to give up a scorer for a non-scorer when you need scoring because Kyrie can only play half your games.
That's the part that gets me, is a lot of people say that Simmons would be an even better fit because he can orchestrate the offense without needing the ball. I'm like, but when he's without the ball, he's not going to shoot.
Right.
And then we also know when he goes to the basket, he's not going to finish. He also can't shoot free throws. How does that work with two guys who need the ball and space?
Not a threat on the offensive side.
I don't see it.
The best fit, for me, in my personal opinion, would be the Golden State Warriors.
For Simmons, I agree.
Because they don't need scoring.
And neither one of them need the ball. Any of them.
Like,
we'll pass it around all day long.
For me, dude, I'd even give a Draymond Green, Wiseman a pick. Send him over there. Bring in Simmons. Defensive player. He can facilitate your offense.
And I'm glad you said that, because if you think about not only just the offense, not only the defense that he can bring over there, which he can supplement with Draymond being out, he can kind of fit in that role too. But the culture is way different. Like,
yes.
the fan base isn't going to be nearly as hard on him.
Right.
Everyone, a lot of talking heads are like, if he goes to Brooklyn, it's going to be fine because the pressure is going to be on KD and Kyrie. I'm like, no, it's not. If he has 5 points in a playoff game and he goes 3 for 10 from the free throw line, like, all of the pressure's on him, and he's in New York, which is a huge market. He's going to get annihilated, and he's already leaving Philly, who just will not let him touch the court without any type of physical violence probably at this point, and you're going to put him in Brooklyn, New York. That's not going to fly. It's like, I mean, Russell Westbrook, luckily he's an LA guy, but again, he's always getting all the flack for their losses. Yeah. Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, the third guy always gets all the credit for the loss. Simmons is going to be the same guy unless the culture in Golden State, which is team friendly, and Simmons is going to.
I just don't know if you give up Draymond. I don't know if you give up Draymond and your young asset for Simmons.
But he's a young asset himself.
I mean, I don't know if I want him.
I can see where you're coming from.
I don't know if I want him. You know what I mean? And
it would shake things up.
And it's just the money too. He's like overpaid.
Not even playing.
Yeah, but he's overpaid. Like you're gonna go over there and I'd rather pay somebody else. I don't want to bring. I don't need that. Like we're winning.
He's always in the running for second, third, or fourth in Defensive Player of the Year, which Draymond is either first, second, or third. Also,
I don't think you need him either, but I do think it could be an upgrade over a Draymond at this point in Draymond's career.
I'm just saying, like the money you're forking out for him, like I don't even want to put that salary hit on me.
Well, and that brings me to my next point because I honestly think that the best, unless they're able to do, hey, look, you're taking your old guy Harden back type of deal.
Right.
We're getting Simmons. The best return that I thought that the Philly could get for Simmons was CJ McCollum. And he's off
and
the
that's
table.
Done. Yeah.
And that's done. And so now I'm like, all right, you're looking, all right, can I get Darian Fox? Can I get, who can give me something other, because unless I'm getting Harden, I'm not getting Kyrie. I'm not getting KD. I'm not getting AD. I'm not getting any of these guys.
I think over where he'd fit in with team-wise, length-wise, how he plays, he'd be a good Celtic.
Oh, he'd be good over there.
Just giving the ball, Brown, giving Smart's on the table.
Take Smart out, throw him
on
in.
the table.
I can see that.
He's on the table. Now, it's not going to be like a huge asset, big help to the 76ers, but you're getting something.
Yeah, it's something.
You're getting something. And Ben Simmons, you can go play, give the ball to Tatum, give the ball to Brown, and y'all three play defense.
And that's what those guys need, is they need someone to help get them the ball.
Right.
Like when Marcus Smart's at his best, he's a really good facilitator, and he's a really good defender. And Simmons is both of those things.
Right.
I think the only way
with length.
Exactly.
I think the only way the Sixers would do it is if Brown is the other piece.
Yeah, and that's a no.
That's not going to happen.
I agree. But
Tatum and Brown is
but that'd be the only
I'm just
way.
talking about team.
What
would work the best? What would fit
team?
the best?
What team?
He definitely has to go.
I don't know,
team.
bro. I'm like me personally, bro. Like Simmons is overpaid, and I'm not that interested.
I feel like definitely he has to go.
25 teams feel that way.
Right. Obviously, nobody really wants him for the price that they're asking. But he has to go to a team where he can be that third.
I'm saying that you're right.
Yeah.
He has to be the third guy on the team.
Yeah.
He can't be the one.
No.
Definitely not the one. And he's already shown he can't be the two.
Let's take this ahead for a minute, because I was on record by saying before I felt the best thing for Simmons was for him to go to Indiana. Go to Sacramento.
A team where there's zero expectations.
Zero expectations, and the ball's going to go through you anyways, and you can really do whatever you want. But now I'm looking like if he does that, like say they do ship him to Sacramento.
Go to Orlando.
Yeah. Say they ship him dude, look, we just got to get something, and we got to get you off here because you're not playing. Like, I could see that happening. But by the time his contract's up, he's going to be 28. And I kind of feel like he might have the feeling where it's like, dude, I'm the big dog. And I'm a free agent now. And I've been running things my way, and I'm kind of the vet. And it's like, you're still a problem.
Feed an ego that...
Yeah. It's like, dude, you were on a losing team, and you were putting up 28, 9, and 7. And it's like, great, but now you're a free agent, and everyone's still looking at you like, are you the same guy that you were 5 years ago, where come playoff time, are you going to not dunk it? Or will it actually, rectify everything? I don't know.
I'm not feeding the hype. I'm not really feeding the hype into it. I think there's more hype where Smart's going to go.
Right.
We even hit Sabonis yet. I think Sabonis leads.
Where are you guys at on that trade?
Sabonis, I thought Sabonis was the Pacers. So
I'm with you. Him and Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Those are the guys.
But the reason why I'm confused by this trade is there are two teams that are both near the bottom.
Bro, no, they're the same team. Just one's on
One's on the
East
West.
and one's on the West.
Right, they're like on the outside of that playoff.
Yeah, they're both like
game.
11th, 12th. They're.
You're I don't think this improves either team tremendously.
I started at the bottom, and now I'm still here.
Indiana has been in the playoffs for the last few years, where Sacramento has been a long ways away from it. But at the same time, to what y'all are saying, I don't feel like it made either team better.
Right.
And I'm really mad that they did Sabonis that way, because he's way better than what Indiana utilized him at, and he'll be way better than whatever they're going to do to him on the Kings.
This trade didn't make sense for these two teams.
It don't make sense. It don't even make sense with Portland and New Orleans. They're literally tied for the 10th spot.
I think that's basically
a lot of sense to me.
The Blazers are saying we're blowing this up. We're keeping Dame, and
I understand that, but I mean, just like
Pelicans,
it's not a huge move. It's not a huge move, and it's like New Orleans, like you were in a good spot, but it's like because you had Zion last year, and you also had they had the Ball.
Yeah, they got rid of him in Chicago.
So he went to Chicago, and Zion's not playing.
That's a bad move.
It's like
right.
You're in the exact same boat that New Orleans is always in. Even when they had Davis, you're in the exact same boat. You're at the bottom of the playoff. You're number 8
with Davis,
and that's it. This
is you're hoping that, like we talked about. This is hoping you can re-sign Zion.
Yeah,
I think
all in play to re-sign
Zion. Has been
bro. These young generation people, man, it's just they think they're entitled to something. Like Harden, you're a vet. You've earned something. You're MVPs. These players are coming in like 30 MVP. Like, bro, you're not Derrick Rose.
But
you didn't come in here, do the defense, do the triple-double. Even there's a Morant right now. Morant's balling. Morant's balling right now.
Reminds me of Rose and Iverson
same
and Westbrook
same stats as Rose. And you don't hear him complaining like these cats out here. And it's like
he's winning.
That cures a lot too.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
but he's driving that.
Who are y'all? You know what I mean?
What did Zion come into? He came into the hype.
The Pelicans.
He's the number one draft pick. He's the man. He's the greatest. He's the next LeBron.
Baby LeBron.
He's going to be the face of the NBA. Him and
so
Luka.
They put him on the pedestal right there. So then you come in with that ego, and then whenever you're not winning, which he's used to winning,
you're
eating.
That's
what happened. You throw this. You throw this little fit, these little tantrums like he's doing right now of, I still don't think he's injured. I really think he's just being lazy.
That's what scares me.
I think he's faking the injury. I think he can come back if he wanted to. On the right team, he'd be fit, and I think he'd be healthy.
I'm afraid
but I don't think he cares.
That he is actually injured, and that's why he's going to sign this extension, is because he's going to want to be like, look, I'm going to leave. If you guys don't fix this situation, I am out of here. I'm opting out. I'm going to New York, and they're going to be like, how's $250 million sound? And he's going to be like, oh, no, that sounds really good because I've been hurt every single year of my entire career, so I cannot refuse $250,000.
But I need you.
Now, I'm going to force a trade later, but I'm going to take that money right now.
I'm going to need you to get medically cleared, though. You know what I mean?
Then
what? Then what? You know what I mean? Then do this therapy, do this physical training, do this practice.
Then do you do a Kawhi? And you're like, your doctors cleared me, but mine didn't.
But see, that's the thing.
So now I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to win a title over there.
There's a difference with Kawhi, though. You're in the game. You already put in the work. You already got the championship. You're already a vet.
True.
That's totally different.
True.
That's the hype we put on him. We as in the media.
Doesn't matter.
He never played a single NBA game.
Listen, I believed in him, dude. I watched him play.
He was the real deal on the court.
I watched him.
NBA.
Listen, I watched him play the college game. I watched him play a college game. I don't even think he missed a shot or he missed one shot. And I know he had a game where he didn't miss a shot.
Right.
Yeah, he was like 12-12.
And it was like shooting too.
He had like 5 or 6 or 7 threes. Like, I seen it. I seen him play. I seen him ball. I understand, and I do think he got
talent
lazy.
is there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he went to a bad circumstance.
This year, like Harden did the same thing last year when he wanted to get out.
Yeah,
he was lazy, kind of looking out of shape, kind of doing this. But also, I want to say the way the way they're calling the fouls too is messing Harden's game.
That definitely destroyed him.
So
it messed up Trae Young for a while.
They said it was going to mess up Luka, but
he's still out of shape too.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Still balling.
But see, Luka,
they need to make a trade. Dallas needs somebody.
Yeah, but see, the thing with
Luka,
I was hoping McCollum was going to be the guy.
But see, with like
get Dragic over there.
But see, with like Luka, even Dallas in general, I don't remember who I was talking to. Dallas is so a wishy-washy team. Like, they'll go out there, beat you by 35, and then go and lose by 40.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? How did you win by 35?
They'll beat a top 4 team and then lose to one of the bottom 4 teams.
But like by 30.
Yes.
And they'll go beat the other team by 20, and then they'll go lose by 40, and then they'll win by 30, and it's just like,
you know what I really
who
want?
are you?
I really want
Dallas versus Clippers again?
for a third time.
Yeah.
Rubber match. I really want Dallas to put together a trade for Marcus Smart.
I'd like that.
You got a guy who can play make, and you got a guy who can play defense, which will help out Luka tremendously on both ends. And you probably got a guy who won't allow 40-point losses.
Yeah.
From that locker room.
Or he's swinging on somebody.
Right.
So that's good.
I kind of like that idea.
I'm down.
Like, get a guy in there, because, I mean, like, what can you say to Luka? And who can say what to Luka other than Mark Cuban? And I'm not saying he's that type of guy, but I'm saying like somebody.
I'm going to tell you like this. So Mark Cuban as an owner
would be good for him.
Mark Cuban as an owner though is first off, you're not coming at Luka because like that's how you get traded.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, who can talk to him that way? Nobody. But if you got a guy who's like, look, man, I'm not about these 30-point losses. Like, it's a good challenge.
Yeah.
You know, you can push each other that way.
Yeah, a good fit would have been Sabonis.
Like somebody like that. Oh, man, it'd be so good.
Yeah, he would have been good over
Sabonis deserves better. All right, any final wrap-ups? Oh, Josh, you had something for us. You had a question to ask us.
So we're not at the halfway mark, but we're getting close to that halfway mark, getting close to the All-Star game. The trade deadline, all these things. I just wanted to see where you guys were at as far as...
I think we're over.
Are we over the halfway mark?
Yeah, no, we're definitely are.
The All-Star game is a weird situation.
We're focused on the Super Bowl.
What team surprises you guys on either side? So what team did you expect to be better? Is there a team you expected to be like good and they not so good, and then vice versa?
Lakers.
I feel like for the most part, the team that we expected
even
to be
Nets, but at least I guess the Lakers and the Nets both.
They both kind of have quote unquote excuses.
They're one and the same. It's just like injuries. Like unless you
they're old.
Unless you're looking at the roster, and you're like they're all old. Like it's obvious. Like it's not surprising.
I feel like the team that we're all going to say for the most part that bad to good is the Cavs. Like no one expects the Cavs to be what they are.
But see, hold on. There was a guy.
Cavs is definitely
that is a super surprise. The Cavs, dude. When I looked and I was like you don't even follow like the Cavs.
They're like
winning.
2 games away from winning the East.
Right,
number 1 seed.
If you don't remember though, I said Chicago was going to be something to mess with, and they're bringing ball over, they're bringing DeRozan over, and dude, they're balling.
Caruso,
they already got
baby.
Levine. They got Levine over there, and they're balling too. And another team that kind of made a little resurgence is Toronto. They started, I think I want to say his name's Trent Jr. And ever since they put him in the lineup, like
and Siakam's been his good old self again.
Van Vliet, they've kind of.
I wonder if they're a trade deadline buyer. I don't
know what their money situation looks like in Toronto.
Snap a guy here.
So a team for me that I'm surprised how well they're playing, and this is going to be a homer thing, and it's going to be kind of. I'm going to say the Clippers, because
definitely a Clipper fan talking to us.
But Kawhi's been out, obviously.
I guess that makes you the authority on the subject, doesn't it?
Kawhi's been out, obviously.
Yeah.
Paul George has been out.
Yep.
And to still be playing as well as they're playing when you got your 2 superstars out with a team that is a deep team, but who are they?
You saw Morris is still on your team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see
Reggie Jackson?
What he did the other night? God, what did he hit? Like 7 threes?
But it
was insane.
Like, there's not a night where it's like you have one guy doing.
Yeah, I was like that. Like literally, a Morris twin beat you. When I was looking at, I can't remember the team. Maybe it was the Lakers. I think they played the Lakers.
Did they own the Lakers?
Yeah, and I was like, you let the other Morris twin beat you. I couldn't believe it. Like I executed like it was any other day in the gym for him.
Yeah, but
when Paul George went out,
no, they should. I mean, that's the Bucks.
Yeah,
but when Paul George went out, and there was rumors. There's still a little bit of rumors saying that Paul George and Kawhi may not come back this year.
No, I could believe that.
And to be where they're at, considering that they lost your 2 star players, and most people couldn't name you a guy on the team after that. To be still in that 8th seed and I mean, they're hovering 500.
But the bottom of the West is so bad right now. Like, it's just so broken.
The top is elite, but the bottom is rough.
Yeah.
And then you got the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves are looking good with Edwards and Towns.
I love that duo right now.
You're having a little Georgia trend with you right now.
I know, man. Anthony Edwards, baby. Let's go. Love it.
But yeah, none are as surprising as the Cavs.
No, I would say I want to say Memphis because they were in the play-in game last year.
Morant is
now they're
balling,
what,
bro.
second in the West?
The third.
Third?
Yeah.
That's
obviously
absurd.
you got Warriors and Suns. Suns have been just ridiculous this year.
I might need to change my pick to Memphis, but I don't think I had the Cavs anywhere in the top 8.
No.
And for them to be a couple games, right?
Bro, no, like we're talking about like
They fighting for a play-in.
no, we're talking about dude. The Cavs were like
A lottery.
11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of the West.
Yeah.
Like they were at the bottom. Or the East. They were at the bottom of the East.
Right.
And the East
They were a
is
lot
the
of
weak, you know.
a lottery
right
team.
now,
like
right now, the East is looking really competitive.
Yeah, they're all within like 4 games of each other.
Yeah.
Like the Nets, they're in the 7th spot.
But see, the Nets
I
are
wanna
so
say.
hurt right now. Dude, the Nets are getting whooped
But
right
yeah,
now.
it's like how many games between them and the 1 spot? It's like 3.5.
yeah, it's 35 and 20. Your Miami Heat
Yeah.
at 35 and 20. The Nets 29-24.
Yeah.
But the thing
I
with-
mean, like,
the
what?
thing-
So
It's not even All-Star break.
the
yet.
thing with the Heat,
Like, you
though,
could be
is
leading the East in, like, 2
Butler,
weeks.
and
ridiculous.
Adebayo got to stay healthy. If they're not healthy,
yeah.
the Heat are nothing.
Robinson, Hero, Keller, or
that's what I'm curious
Lowry,
to see if the Heat are
Love
going to
it.
make a move.
Oladipo.
I don't
needs
think
to
they
get
got
healthy.
money.
But there's
He's
been
coming
talks
back.
they're going to trade Jimmy Neutron.
No. But I'll tell you
The
this:
Duncan is going to be gone.
the
I don't see
Cavaliers got Karis LeVert
Yeah.
in a trade here just before the trade deadline.
There was big talks. The Mavericks trying to push for him.
Yeah, and see, I could see that move. I don't know.
High
if
energy
I
guy.
love it.
High energy guy.
High
You know what I
energy,
mean?
but high usage and high
Right.
shots.
Yeah.
And so I'm already like, all right, you got Garland there orchestrating the ball. He needs it, which I mean, I'm
But
fine
was that
with
the
him
system
having
he
the
was
ball.
in?
But that's what I mean. So
It's his
Sexton,
play style. It's his play style, though.
Sexton's going to come back. He needs his shots. And
Yeah.
then you still got to get it to Mobley because he's a freaking beast. He's like Kevin Garnett, but like, don't want to put him there yet. But it's like, dude, the guy plays hard offense, hard
Yeah.
defense, and he's solid. And now you're bringing in a high volume shooter to go along with those guys. I just don't know how that works in a playoff
You
setting.
still got Allen
There's
and
a whole
Love,
lot of
man.
shots going around.
Allen-
And you got to feed those
So
guys.
there's also
A lot of
the,
ball to go
the
around.
talk of Love possibly getting traded.
I don't see Love.
I don't see it either. I don't
He's
know-
that vet over there.
I don't know who would
They're
want
feeding
He's
him.
really bought into that franchise, and they've really embraced him this year. I will
With
say
Love,
that.
with Love though, like, so I was watching. I don't remember. It was because there was big thing on the out of bounds play,
Uh-huh.
and dude, Love is still money from the free throw.
Yep.
He's still got leadership qualities.
Yep.
And he can still.
I don't know who would want him.
Well, and
Cleveland.
at
Cleveland
this
wants
point,
him, man. I don't think
there's-
Cleveland wants to get rid of him.
No, there's reports where he went to the front office and he was like, "Look, if you don't trade me, then I want my minutes, but I'm going to prove it to you that I deserve them."
Right.
And he's done that this whole season. I feel like there's a mutual respect going on right now with them. So I don't know if they can get off that contract, number one. And number two, yeah, I don't think if anybody wants it or if
What are you going to get in return
makes
even if you
sense.
did want
Yeah.
him? Like,
And
what
right
you
now
gonna
you're
give up?
winning.
Right. That's the thing.
You want to mess
With
that
the
up?
Cavs, what are you going to get in return? Because someone's going to want him for trash.
Yeah, they're
Why would
like-
you bring in trash? Why not just keep the guy that is
Yeah.
doing good for you? It's that that veteran presence.
And he's got your veteran presence.
And he won a ring there, so he's got some establishment
Ties,
with
yep.
some ties exactly. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It is very, very surprising. Very surprising. But after All-Star break, stuff starts popping off. And like I said, Thursday,
Buyout market.
Thursday.
Buyout.
Listen,
Looking for that.
Thursday,
Looking
there's
for that.
still one more trade in the loom.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's last minute, whether it's coming up. Like I said, we talked about Smart. There's talks about Smart, but there's a trade out there that just like this McCollum, I didn't see it coming. Like,
no.
Okay, he
Not
might
the
have been
Pelicans. I didn't see that at
he
all.
might have been he might have been out there, but yeah, to the Pelicans, like you thought he was gonna go to.
A contender.
I don't know.
At
Like
least.
I'm gonna throw it out there, like a Jazz, a Nuggets, a
Yeah.
team that's
Yeah.
exactly a
A Devin
contender.
Parsons team.
Yeah, you know what I mean. A winning team. You know what I mean. But here we are, and I do believe there's gonna be
I
one
thought
more
Sabonis
thing,
would go to a
and we're actually
contending
gonna
team.
see a real All-Star, like
Kings.
I want to shout out to NHL for having actually a good All-Star game.
Hey, let's do it. Yes.
Not this Pro Bowl crap we watched.
Finally.
There's actually like some cool things they were doing. The
average Joe,
the hardest slap shot. That
was awesome.
Yeah, 102 miles per hour or something like that.
They did some cool things for the.
Yeah.
They should look at the game a little differently. When you watch it, you're like, that guy's got the heater though.
Yeah.
Look out.
So they definitely. Well, not even that. Even when they did the trick shot off from the fountains,
right?
Yeah, no, they set it up. It was cool how they set up their specialty challenges, and instead of doing like, okay, the NFL did dodgeball, like that has no relevance to me at all. Like I have no hype in that.
No.
The one thing I will say when the NFL did the drone drop for the football, that was cool for me.
That was neat.
But
that was neat.
That was.
The little quarterback challenge thing they did was pretty cool.
I thought it was all lame. I thought it was all lame.
The quarterback
I do like the quarterback
stuff that
it just used to be better.
It was definitely better back then.
It used to be better.
Like it was shared on the Facebook group, like the older one, like Tom Brady and stuff like that. Like that was cool.
Right, even just like throwing out their arm, like that was even more fun.
Who can throw the farthest?
Right. The NFL, it let me down. It let me down, man. I like
this time you had a lot of veteran players calling it out. Current players calling it out. A couple players that played in it also kind of commented though, saying, "Hey guys, you got to remember, like this is at the end of our year.
Yeah,
we're all trying to recover. We don't want to get hurt now.
Yeah, we're not playing in the Super Bowl.
But that's fine.
Playing for next year.
So acknowledge that and change the game in what it is.
Yes,
right.
If you're gonna make it a toe hand touch, make it a flag football type thing.
Then don't do it.
Unfortunately,
make it a semi-pro kind of thing. Bring in like they used to do celebrity softball for like the MLB kind of thing. Like do something silly like that where you bring
don't do any of that. Then just do like an all rookie game or all young.
There you go. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Then don't do a Pro Bowl. Then just do. We want to watch football, bro.
Yeah,
that's
the
what
NBA
I'm telling.
Did rookies versus sophomore game.
Right.
But if maybe do something like that.
But if you know it's not going to be a legit football game, and going into it, like. I understand we know the Pro Bowl's a joke, but not this joke the way it was this year.
Not this bad.
Defensive players not rushing. Like the D-line was barely even rushing. Yeah. Like if they get close to a guy, they were blowing the whistle.
Yeah.
Sometimes they blow it, sometimes they didn't. Like it was just all over the board.
Wasn't even running hard.
Right. So
and then some of them were two-hand touch, but some of them weren't, especially like close to the goal line. It's like, oh, but I still made it in, but I touched you like 7 yards out that way. I don't know. That's where I lost it. I was like, dude, I'm not watching this. I'm gonna watch something else. And dude, I love watching the game of football. And for me to say that, it hurts. But for NBA to have their All-Star game, whether or not it's just skills, I like watching that. And then their game itself, whether the defense isn't there, but at least it's stylish.
But then at least at the fourth quarter they turn the defense up. Yeah, they play a little bit more serious.
It turns on,
but it's entertaining nonetheless.
But a game as physical as football, it's hard to get guys to commit to a game that you could say quote unquote meaningless.
Oh, for sure.
It's not a point of pride anymore, which it should be. That's a really big problem. Is that it should be a point of pride that you are recognized to be at this level, to play against these guys. We recognize you in this sport to be elite of the elite. And now you play it out and see which team is better.
They should play it out for like home field advantage. They have to have some meaning to it.
That would be sick.
Some meaning to it.
But like right now, you don't have those stakes, and so it's like if I'm playing for next year, I can't go get hurt right now.
Something that I would think would be cool. How they added the extra game this year, so now you have like the AFC this year gets the 9 games, and then the next year the NFC gets 9 games. Make the Pro Bowl, whoever gets the win for that, you get the extra game on your side this year.
Yeah.
AFC wins it. AFC gets 9 games.
I feel like it's really not. I feel like it's not that hard. And like I said, to come up with something, being an NFL, being that brand. But like I said, if you don't want the vets out there, even though the vets sell, then bring the young guys in there. Bring the rookies out there to get this Kyler Murray contract that he's looking for. Get that out there. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Hey,
something has to give.
On each conference, AFC, NFC, if you're on an extension year, you're playing. Show me what you got.
Yeah.
And whoever plays the best, y'all get an extension.
Good luck.
Yeah.
They got to figure something out, though, because
it's bad. It's bad. I watched the first quarter. And I was like, man, I'm just not interested.
I skimmed by, watched a few plays, and I jumped out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is...
Yeah, I watched maybe half of a quarter, and I was just like, God, this is so bad.
It sucks to say, man, as a fan.
I'm usually a defender of things, in the NFL and the NBA and all that, but like this, wasn't football, man.
By far the worst All-Star game, like we've talked about.
Yep.
So that's hard to go through. Hopefully they find a way to rectify it, put some incentives there that matter enough.
Figure something out
in order to keep the fans engaged, but also get the players to play like a real football game that we're used to seeing every Sunday. Before we head off, Devin, UFC, man, what you got for us?
Just quick touch on UFC. So we had a decent card go back last week. It's kind of just setting up for what's to come, but this week, just the main event and co-main event right now, we got Izzy.
Yes, sir.
Izzy versus Whitaker running it back.
Yes, sir.
Some people are saying don't sleep on Whitaker, but I mean, don't sleep on Izzy, bro.
Exactly.
Izzy gonna go out here. He can just go out here and piece him up. He can go out here and piece him up. Basically, Whitaker's saying, I could stand and bang. Dude, this man, you said it was your kids. You step away for family. No, listen, man. This man pieced you up.
Yes.
And hopefully you can take him down and you can wrestle him. If not, you're going to get pieced up again.
Yeah.
And then you have the fan favorite and Derek Lewis and
Tua Tagovailoa. They're both like huge fan favorites now.
Doing the beer shoeies, the Stone Cold Steve Austin out here.
Yeah.
The new age Aussie.
That's a good way to get fans right there.
Yeah.
I've seen that in the 90s. That's a good way to get a group of fans.
Yeah.
He's grabbing fans' shoes and doing shoeies out of it.
Yeah.
This nasty sucker.
You can miss me with that.
In case you don't know what a shoey is, for people who don't know what a shoey is, you take a beer and you pour it into your shoe and you drink.
No, not even your shoe.
Someone else's shoe.
Someone else's shoe. Anybody's shoe.
Who's been in there for like 10 hours.
A boot. Them Cowboys never take them boots off. It's the same boot he's been wearing for 7 years. And, dude, he just...
working in them day in, day out.
That was so disgusting. I'm like,
bro, back to back, bro. He'll kill like 316 ounces before he even gets to the back. And I'm like, bro, that's a job, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good job. Like, if I did that at my job, I might get in a little bit of trouble. But him, he's out here, he's doing it.
You do it on the way out.
Yeah, on the way out. Exactly, on the way out.
Grab your ops manager's boot and chuck it down and be like, this was for you, buddy.
Yeah.
I saw you today.
For
good work.
Derek Lewis and Tua Tagovailoa, I think that's a great fight. The card is actually really good as well. But we're looking at Izzy, we're looking at Robert Whitaker. Even if, how I like how they set this up, even if there's something that happens between them, they have Kennier and Brunson in the same weight class who can fill in, or if anything were to happen. I like how they do that. I like having that backup. I like how, just because it starts off with 15, it starts off with 14 fights, and then somehow you're at 11.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just one of those things. It's a big Aussie, New Zealand heavy fight card, and they are really fun to watch.
They're doing it in Houston, right?
I believe it is in Houston.
I want to say
hold on.
I thought it was in Houston because this is Derek Lewis's hometown.
No, he fought his last one in Houston. It could be. It may be. I know this one. I don't know if it's in Houston. I don't know if it's in Houston, man.
Oh, for some reason I thought they said this was going to be in
I don't know if it's in Houston, and I do know the one that's coming up. They're coming to Jacksonville. In less than a month. In a month, they're coming to Jacksonville. So I don't want to say, I can't confirm that they're in Houston because I think they were just in Houston in Derek Lewis's last fight. But yeah, man, it's a good card. They raised the prices, man. It's just one of those things, but it's.
Everything's going up this year, man.
Yeah, everything. But I'm still interested. Get you some UFC in before the big game, Sunday game. Just a fun fact I seen that they shared with us. 5 times the pizzas get sold on Sunday. So whatever the pizza is Sunday for Super Bowl, 5 times across the country. They sell more, and then wings. It's like 1.3 billion wings.
I was gonna say, I know wings go out,
and we're already
because that's what I have.
Yeah,
and we're already in a wing shortage,
right?
And they're already talking about they're going to be
a wing shortage.
Yes, and now they're
you guys
jacking
been
the
eating
price
before
up.
the podcast.
They're jacking the price up of the wings now.
Oh, I bet.
Every restaurant has already got the prices jacking up, and
they're
warning people.
Get your wings there.
You know
take it on home. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. All right, fellas. Any last signing out words, signing off? You got anything for us before we head out and ex-nay this Super Bowl episode podcast? What you got for him, Josh?
Let's go Rams. Let's go Bengals. Either way, we're all happy. But
all happy.
Let's Stafford get a ring, and Dame. Let's go ahead and go on over to the Mavs.
Hey, come on,
make it happen.
Don't you want him to retire, a Portland guy? Like they used to do, like no one does anymore?
No, because they're screwing him over. So screw them.
Hey, man, I completely agree. You know, I'm at that point where I would love to see him stay a Trailblazer.
If they were doing something to help him, but right now you're just getting rid of everything they have. So if I'm him, I'm upset. I want to go.
You got some free, Harden,
No,
you got
let me go.
Kyrie,
Let me go.
maybe Kawhi, he'll move out, and Paul George, you can.
It ain't happening.
Nah, I don't really see it happening either. I would love to see, but that's the problem though. Like, would you love to see Dame jump on like the Lakers or the Nets or?
No.
Right. So it's like, no, I want to go to a contender and have a chance, but not those guys. No. Don't go to those contenders. Go to Denver. That'd be awesome. Actually,
It's not that far.
the Jazz, Suns. Oh man, dude, the Suns though this year.
On fire.
Talk about
On fire.
we're serious.
They lose a game and then go on another 10, 12 game winning streak.
God, they're I think they're 20. Stumper, you'll have to correct me on this. Are they 28-4
No,
in their last games? 28 and
no, they're 31 something.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah,
They only have 10 losses on the season.
Yeah,
but it's,
no, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
but
Well,
I think it's 12 or 13 game home winning streak right now.
Yeah.
well, that's the thing.
And just
I was
before
gonna
this
say about,
last loss,
since,
they were like
December.
a 12 game winning
Yeah.
streak.
The Warriors and the Suns both have 30 plus wins, 31 plus
Yeah.
wins.
Absurd. I'm still waiting for Milwaukee to turn it on, but I think it's going to be after the All-Star break where Giannis is still.
Yeah, dude, I was saying
but I
they're
feel
like
the wins are
carefree
gonna
right now.
follow.
Yeah.
They're carefree right now.
Yeah.
They're still a force to be reckoned with, but I feel like they're just kind of
They're cruising
chilling right now, and then they're
Let's
gonna
just
turn
stay
it on.
healthy.
But
Hit
man,
this All-Star break.
any given Sunday, man, we're gonna have some fights. We got a Super Bowl, and then it goes on from there, man. All-Star break, and we're going into the world of basketball. The world of steroids are cool to use.
Yeah.
And
that change
Steroids
for
are
Hall of
okay
Fame
in
next
baseball
year?
all of a sudden.
March Madness, get some brackets
We
going.
about to get the most roided out version of baseball since they're not testing anymore.
I hope so.
Leave Mark McGuire and Bonds in the past. Like, oh, now it's legal, baby. Bats are up.
Hey, that's what you need to do for ratings, man.
Woo!
Run it.
Can't wait to see y'all in next week's podcast after we recap the Super Bowl and see what happens. Go Bengals. Go Rams. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be happy anyway.
Give me a
Everyone
good
wins.
game.
There's no Cowboys. There's no Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. It's going to be great. We'll catch you next time.